Okay, so one of these two actresses got a lot more famous than the other. Enter Zendaya and Bella Thorne, who started out on the Disney Channel together, but one of their careers massively took off to the point she's an A-list actress, while the other one sort of fizzled out, and the real question is, why is that? And a lot of people don't realize this, but when Bella Thorne and Zendaya did the show Shake It Up together, Zendaya actually had no experience where that was her first ever acting credit, while Bella Thorne actually was in a lot of stuff as a kid. And that's because as a kid, she did a lot of appearances doing shows like The OC, Entourage, another show that she was a recurring character on called Dirty Sexy Money, and she also did one episode of Wizards of Waverly Place where she was introduced to Disney. While Zendaya actually had no experience at all where she just attended an open casting call and got the part, but she didn't even get the part she wanted where she auditioned for Bella Thorne's role but she was told no, so she got the other role instead. Bella Thorne had a lot more going into that show Shake It Up than what Zendaya did, where she was the bigger actress at the time, having way more experience, and also she was doing the character that was considered more desired, and some people would have even called the main character, but then everything ran into a huge problem with her with this photo when she was 14 years old, where she went to the beach, but then parents groups got really concerned by these photos, and it was reported by Perez Hilton, TMZ, and a bunch of other groups, where people just thought this was inappropriate for a 14-year-old to wear. And Zendaya was actually there that day on the beach, seen in this photo right here, but Zendaya was clearly dressed a lot more modestly. But then Disney saw this and they got absolutely freaked out, where they're trying to have this family-friendly image, and they didn't like the idea of 14-year-olds wearing this outfit. So the next week, they actually took her aside and they threatened to fire her from the show, saying they were absolutely pissed off with her. They end up not firing Bella Thorne because they don't want any more controversy, but they don't hire her again for really any other projects. But in the meantime, they built Zendaya's fame up. They gave her another show, which was Casey Undercover. They gave her a bunch of TV movies. Then they gave her Spider-Man. They gave her The Greatest Showman. And they really built Zendaya into the A-list. Unlike Zendaya, Bella Thorne didn't get the good graces of Disney to help her out in her career afterwards, and also to make it worse, neither of these two actresses got paid much for Shake It Up. It was reported they were only making about $1,500 to $3,000 an episode, and Bella Thorne said when she ended the show, because of the cost of living in LA and agents' fees, she only had $200 left in her bank account. And actors and actresses who don't make a lot of money sadly get boxed into taking crappy roles because crap can pay big sometimes. So in the case of Bella Thorne, she was actually moving backwards in her career, where she started out doing these single episode TV show roles, but then she landed the show Shake It Up. But then after that, because she couldn't find any big work, she was back to doing single episode roles, like doing an episode of CSI, which kind of devalued her as an actress. And she did actually get a movie with Blended where she played Adam Sandler's daughter, but that movie got bad reviews even though it made some money at $128 million on a budget of $40 million, but ultimately the reviews were really bad at just 15% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't think it helped her. They gave her the worst haircut in the history of humanity. On the flip side, Disney built up Zendaya so much from the Spider-Man movies and also The Greatest Showman that she was able to basically pick any project she wanted in Hollywood, where she lands the prestige roles like Dune, she's landing Euphoria, and she gets basically whatever she wants. And then Bella Thorne kind of gets just stuck with this image of doing bad horror movies. She tried directing her own movie, adult film stars, called Her and His, which failed. And then she also did the failed OnlyFans account where she scammed people, so her career is kind of dead. And with that, I'm Charles Pearl. Please subscribe to learn something.